The world ended 3 weeks ago, and your neighbor, the one with the zombie killer bumper sticker and the $5,000 plate carrier, is currently crying over a can of peaches he can't open. He prepared for a war. He bought the toys. He spent his weekends at the range practicing his draw stroke and looking at himself in the mirror, convinced he was the protagonist of the next great action epic. He watched the movies where the hero solves every global crisis with a magazine change and a gritty one-liner. But reality doesn't have a director. It doesn't have a soundtrack. It just has physics and biology, two things he ignored in favor of aesthetics. But the movies forgot to mention that tactical doesn't mean practical. That plate carrier is just 20 pounds of extra sweat and heat rash when you're dying of dysentery. That high-end rifle with the thermal optic, it's a very expensive club the moment you realize you can't eat 5.56 rounds and there's no one left to call for a resupply. Here is the reality check that hurts. The end of the world isn't a firefight. It isn't a blaze of glory against a horde of villains. It's a slow, quiet, agonizing battle against boredom, bacteria, and blisters. It's the realization that you are not the hunter. You are the inhabitant of a world that has suddenly become very indifferent to your survival. If you want to live, stop looking for a fight and start looking at the dirt. Survival isn't about being the strongest or the most aggressive. It's about being the hardest to kill, because you know the boring stuff that keeps the human machine running. While the operators are playing soldier in the ruins, you're going to become a god of the basics. You are going to learn the language that humanity spoke for 10,000 years before we got distracted by Wi-Fi and fast food. I'm giving you 7 skills that weigh nothing, cost nothing, and expire never. 7 ways to turn a graveyard of a civilization into your personal playground. Let's start with the one that keeps your heart beating and the shadows at bay. Skill 1. Fire. Forget the Zippo and the plastic butane lighters. Lighters are just fragile boxes of disappointment, waiting to leak or crack in the cold. You need to know how to coax life out of 2 sticks when the world is wet and freezing. The bow drill isn't a cool party trick. It's your heat, your kitchen, your water treatment plant, and your only psychologist. You'll need a hearthboard of soft wood like cedar or willow, a spindle, and a bow with enough tension to spin that wood into a frenzy. When you can make fire from a discarded shoelace and a dead branch, the dark stops being a threat. It starts being home. Fire provides the morale that gear cannot buy. Skill 2. Water. That crystal clear mountain stream looks like a gift from God, but it's actually a biological weapon. One sip of the wrong microscopic assassin, 𝐥𝐢𝐞𝐬, cryptosporidium, or E. coli, and your body becomes a fountain of dehydration and regret. In a world without IV drips, diarrhea is a death sentence. I don't care how thirsty you are. If you don't boil it for a full minute, bleach it, or sun fry it using UV radiation, you're just a walking corpse waiting for your organs to quit. Learn the solar still, dig a hole, use the Earth's own moisture, and let the sun do the heavy lifting while you save your precious energy for moving. Clear water is a beautiful liar. Never trust it without a trial by fire. Skill 3. Knots. Knots are the code of the physical world, the invisible joints that hold a life together. If you can't tie a bowline in the pitch dark with fingers numb from the rain, your shelter is just a pile of laundry waiting for a moderate breeze to blow it away. Most people know how to tie their shoes, and that's where the education ends. But a trucker's hitch gives you a 3-to-1 mechanical advantage, allowing you to move logs or tension lines with the strength of 3 men. A clove hitch and a square lashing allow you to build furniture, ladders, and defensive structures. If you can't join 2 things together permanently and reliably, you aren't building a life. You're just stacking trash and hoping for the best. Skill 4. First aid. In the old world, a deep cut on your hand was a trip to urgent care and a round of antibiotics. In the new world, that same cut is an audition for sepsis. There are no ERs. There are no pharmacies. There is only you, some boiled water, and your ability to spot a red streak traveling toward your heart before it's too late. You need to master the art of irrigation, flushing a wound until it's truly clean, not just wiped off. Learn to splint a fracture, using nothing but sticks and strips of a t-shirt to keep the bone from tearing muscle. You are now the only doctor, surgeon, and nurse you'll ever see. Respect the fragility of human skin, because once it's breached, the clock starts ticking. Skill 5. Shelter. Hypothermia is a silent thief. It doesn't need a blizzard to kill you. It just needs you to be wet, tired, and exposed to a 50-degree wind. You don't need a high-tech tent, you need insulation. The Earth is a giant battery of heat if you know how to tap into it. Build a debris hut. Use a ridgepole, ribs of sturdy branches, and then pile on 2 feet of leaves, mulch, and pine needles. It's ugly. It smells like damp earth and old forest. But while the guy in the expensive tactical bivy bag is shivering to death because his gear failed, you're sleeping in a 70-degree pocket of natural warmth. Gravity and dead leaves don't have zippers that break. Skill 6. Food procurement. The prepper plan is usually to sit in a basement and eat canned beans until the expiration date wins. My plan is to let the ecosystem feed me. You need to learn to see cattails as a source of flour, dandelions as a vitamin-rich salad, and acorns as a source of life-sustaining fat. And for the love of everything, stop hunting. Rifles make noise that attracts the wrong kind of attention, and they require you to be lucky. Snares and traps work 24 hours a day while you are sleeping or working on your shelter. A figure 4, deadfall, or a simple wire. Snare is a game of probability. Set 10, catch 1, and you eat. Be the person who harvests the landscape, not the person who chases it. Skill 7, navigation. GPS is a ghost in a dead machine. If you're relying on a glowing screen to tell you where north is, you're already a statistic. You need to understand the shadow stick method. Plant a stick, mark the shadow, wait 20 minutes, and mark it again. That's your east-west line, provided by the rotation of the planet itself. At night, find the Big Dipper and follow the pointer stars to Polaris. If you can't read the language of the sun, the stars, and the way moss grows on the lee side of a tree, you're just wandering in circles until you run out of calories. Navigation isn't about knowing where you are, it's about knowing how to get where the resources are. Look at your hands right now. Are they soft? Are they clean? In the world that's coming, those hands are your only tools. The hero of the collapse isn't the guy with the most ammo or the loudest truck. It's the person who knows how to make the environment work for them instead of fighting against it. When society collapses, the cool people, the influencers, and the tactical gear addicts die first because they were prepared for a movie, not a reality. The boring people, the ones who sat in the dirt and practiced the unsexy fundamentals until they became muscle memory, are the ones who will be standing a year later to rebuild what was lost. Class is officially over, but your life depends on the homework you start today. You can go online and buy more gear today, or you can go into your backyard and build a skill. One of those things will be a heavy, useless paperweight in a month. The other will keep you breathing when everyone else has stopped. The world doesn't care about your gear list, it only cares about what you know. Go outside, find 2 sticks, start the friction, start the fire, start now. Because when the lights go out, it's already too late to learn how to see in the dark.